Hello there, beautiful creatives. Welcome to another video. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 main tips for really painting more realistic, professional looking flowers, roses to be specific. So also I've got a free bonus gift for you. It's a free painter's guide that's really going to help you with inspiration and guide you to kind of unlocking your creative vision to create artworks you really love. So I'll pop the link to that in the description box to go check it out, because really so many new painters kind of come to me, come to my courses or my YouTube videos, and when they start painting roses, I notice they kind of stick with this one colour, kind of like I'm demonstrating to you on the left now. There's no shame here. I used to do this exact same thing before, and this is why I really love to share these videos, because I kind of learned a few tips along the way, which I'm really excited to share with you. Now, the colours we're going to be using today are titanium white, yellow, sap green, phthalo blue, and magenta. And this kind of leads me onto the first tip, because this is going to be the reference photo we're going to be using today. And as you can see, it's a reference with a side view of the rose. I'm also going to share some photographs with you now that you can pause the video, screenshot and use these however you want. These photos are copyright free, because I know sometimes it can be hard to get reference photos, so I just wanted to share these with you. But as I mentioned, this is the photo we're going to be using today. And yes, you'll notice it is from a side view. Why is that better? Well, we're really going to start using these rich colours to kind of build the base. And as you can see, if you kind of squint at the reference photo, you'll see these really rich colours, these really rich tones in the rose. So I'm adding those in, first with magenta, and then I'm adding this kind of orange, kind of peachy feel. Now, this is going to just be the backdrop, and I like to put this on right at the beginning so that I kind of have a bit of a base to work from. And then as I start building the layers, I'm going to take some magenta and add that white and kind of just start to build those petals around. So this is really just literally the first few layers that we're adding on. Now, this leads me into the second tip, which is using a flat edge brush. As I kind of carve out these different shapes, I can see I'm really taking my brush, I'm using the shape of my brush, which is a flat edge. And the reason why I love flat edge brushes, especially if you want a more impressionistic feeling rose, is because there's so many variations of brush strokes that you can use. We can literally use the shape of the brush to really create these hard edges, but we can also use it in a much softer way by building up these petals. Now, I'm going to make this whole painting just with this one brush because it is so versatile. Whereas if you kind of go with maybe a small round brush, it's not as easy to inject it with those hard edges and lines. So I just love a flat edge brush, especially as I mentioned, if you want to do more impressionistic work. And as I'm building up these petals, I'm using lots of different colours in there to really build that in. Now also you'll see there's lots of different values here. So I've started with the dark kind of rich colours, and then as I kind of go into the later stages, I'm adding white to those colours and then picking out some of those highlights. And all the time, I'm constantly just squinting at my reference photo and trying to pick out those main shapes that I'm seeing and then just transferring that across in kind of like the simplified way. It's not honing in on every single detail at this point. It's just picking a shape from the reference photo, kind of recreating that main colour, and then just putting that down in a simple brush stroke. Now this leads me on to the third tip, and that is colour temperature. We hear so much, don't we, about colour temperature, and sometimes it can feel like a bit of a minefield, but something I've really noticed that gives my flowers and roses a much more professional, realistic look is adding these different colour temperatures in. Now I haven't added a ton of different colours here. We really have just stuck to this kind of orangey, peachy tone, and then you'll see this more of a purple, magenta tone. And really it's a mixture of those two. If you look at the reference photo, you can see those really warm oranges and reds. And then as the petals kind of unfold around the edges, you'll see it's more, I pick up a purple, but you can push this as far as you want. I've pushed it quite far into the purple range, which, because purple is closer to blue, it's a cooler temperature, whereas those peachy tones, because they're more closer to orange, that's the warmer tones. And really you can play up on this and use this to add so much depth into your roses. This is really what makes it look more realistic, because we're playing with light and shadow. So where the sun hits, or more of a warm light, it will bring out those more warm, rich tones. And then maybe in the shadowed parts, which is where you'll get those more blue, purple colours. And I don't want to add too many highlights, so I'm just playing around with some lighter pinks and lighter whites just to pick out some of those main highlights. Now they're my three main tips for creating a more realistic rose. I know so many of you ask me a lot about backgrounds, so I did want to do a little bonus to the end of this video, just to give you more of a feeling of how to incorporate this into the background. So what I like to do is almost use the background to carve back into my subject. So rather than kind of really neatly going around what I've already done, I will almost do like a negative drawing using my background. So I'm still looking at my reference photo, I'm using a background colour, but I'm picking out some of those shapes still of the petals and almost doing like a negative painting. So like I'm drawing in the background and still looking at those shapes to carve into what I've already put down. And really I like to push and pull. Now this isn't the one right method to do, this is just something I love to do, and it really helps with that impressionistic feeling too. And I'm also playing with the colour temperature here as well. You can see that I've got more of a yellow based green at the top, which is warmer, and then more of a blue based green at the bottom, which is going to be those darker colours. And I like to play around with that in the background so that it's not just one flat colour. Sometimes I can see new artists kind of just paint in the background with one colour, and it can make it look a bit flat. So I like to play around with light, dark, and with colour temperature to really start building up the depth in the background too. So as I start playing with these layers, I kind of fill in around the flower, but then what I really like to do is go back into the flower to then not blend it with the background, but to feel like there's this push and pull between the subject and the background. And that's really how I avoid it looking flat and make it kind of feel like it's intertwined. Because in real life, we don't have backgrounds and foregrounds. Really, everything is so connected that it's not just two sections, and we don't want to separate it into two sections. And so that's kind of like how I like to do it, is just really push and pull between these layers. And really this stage will be so different for each and every one of us, and it is a case of kind of playing with what you like to do, because once I've put this background in, that's when I then go back in with my kind of rose colours and just kind of refocus some of those areas of the petals. So I really hope that this gave you some inspiration and ideas for doing a little sketch in your sketchbook of a rose. As I mentioned as well, don't forget about the free painter's guide. It's got lots of inspiration, lots of tips, and a process that you can follow for your own painting. So make sure to check that out. I'll pop the link in the description box. And let me know of any ideas of the videos that you would love to see. I really want to kind of make what you guys enjoy. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.